students are being pulled into depression. I think amongst a lot of other factors which contribute in this whole scenario wherein a lot of young people are not happy, one of the primary factors which contributes in young people not being happy is that they're not doing what they're really passionate about. When you're not doing what you're not passionate about, you really pull yourself into a very negative kind of loop where you're doing something where every day where you're not passionate about, and then you just there's a continuous loop that you get into, and just observe the society around you. There are people who work for say 8 to 9 hours a day every day for say Monday to Friday, and they're always looking forward for the weekends. They always want that just we just get over with the week and we just enter into the weekend and we can go for a weekend getaway, or we can just go for we can just have a party or something. So I mean that a lot of young people, a lot of students are doing things which they're not passionate about, and that's particularly the reason that they wish to get away from that particular life. So and that's largely about finding these escape routes. Now these escape routes can be in different forms and shapes. Some people like to go out, some people like to go and do something, some people like to have some drinks and etc etc. I mean there can be multiple shapes and forms of how students and young people wish to get away or escape what they're actually doing. But I think that if young people try and build their lives and structure their lives around what they are really passionate about, they would never have this feeling of getting away from that particular life. They have this feeling of escaping what they're doing. They have this feeling of getting away because they're not doing what they're passionate about. Now, take this way, just to put it very simply. Uh, you do not need motivation or inspiration for eating your favorite food. You do not need motivation or inspiration for watching your favorite film. You do not need motivation and inspiration for binging on Netflix, Amazon Prime. But when you're studying, when you're doing something which you're not passionate about, you always need that external motivation. When I go on airports, you find so many young people with these self-help books, the subtle art of not giving an F, the 5 a.m. club, who will cry when I die, and all these self-help books, motivational and inspirational books. Now you need that kind of external motivation when you're not doing something you're intrinsically motivated about. You're not pumped up every day. Or when you wake up in the morning and you have to pull yourself through the day and you have to pull yourself through the week just to get to that weekend. So it is very, very important for young students like all of you and the ones who are watching that you find that passion, you find that particular thing that really intrinsically motivates you. If you are doing something that intrinsically motivates you, you'll never want to get away from that. I can give my example for so that you're able to practically relate. For example, what I always want. I'm doing something which I always wanted to write from a very early age, and it's all about synchronizing your passion with your profession. Once you do that, I can say it very very confidently that you would know that you would know you would never feel that you're working, and irrespective of how many hours you put in every day, you will just feel very very pumped up all through the day, and irrespective of whether it's a weekend or a weekday, irrespective of the time that you're putting in, you'll just feel pumped up all throughout, and that largely comes from that intrinsic motivation. So the first message I want to give all the young students is to find that particular thing that keeps you going. Find that particular thing that you're passionate about. Because if you're doing something which you're passionate about, I can bet on this that you would never feel a sense of void. You will never feel this sense of anxiety or depression amongst you. And the second thing which is connected to this whole scenario of not being happy, young people not being happy, is the very nature of life. Life would never move in a linear fashion. So young people, young students are always running after something, that they set a goal and they feel that once we achieve that particular goal, we'll be happy. And this is something which the society also feeds in. You see your parents, you see your relatives, you see the people around you. They'll always tell you that. So when you're in school, they'll always tell you that just get through the board exams, score well, and you will do very good in life. Once the board exams are over, they tell you just get into a good college, your life would be set. Once you get into a good college, they'll tell you now get a good job and your life would be set. Few years into the job, they'll tell you just marry someone and your life would be set. So this loop never ends. Just see the kind of the society we've built around us, and you will never find a situation in life. And I'm sure that you have a lot of senior people here; they can vouch for this. That you'll never have a situation in life where you'll feel that you've reached there and you'll be happy completely. So the very nature of life is that it never moves in a linear fashion. It'll always be ups and downs. So we have to, as young people, also realize this, that it's not a race that we are in, and it's definitely not a 100-meter race. It's a marathon that we are running. Life is always a marathon. So it's not about getting somewhere. It's about the whole journey. So to make that journey, to make that journey happy, to make that journey very, very satisfactory and fruitful, I think it is very, very important that young people take up something that they're passionate about, they are driven about, and if they do that, that journey would at least be a happy journey. That ups and downs, those ups and downs would still be there, but the journey would be a much more happier journey. So that's about the whole passion and profession thing. The next thing I wanted to talk about, it's an underlying theme which a lot of young people message me about also on social media and other platforms, is about internships. So a lot of young people uh, apply for a lot of internships during their summers, during their winters, because they wish to supplement their academic structures, academic courses, and all with some sort of practical experiences. Now, that's a very, very good thing. But the secondary or the supplementary issue to this is a lot of students say that whether they should go for a paid internship or an unpaid internship. Now, paid internships is a very Western kind of a concept. If you see that it's mostly people in the Western countries that they're looking for paid internships. Now you have to we have to compare the socioeconomic conditions of those countries with ours. If you are a student who is only looking for a paid internship and you will just not get into or take up an unpaid internship, there'll be hundreds and thousands of students who will be willing to take that particular opportunity, irrespective of whether you take that or not. So you have to understand the socioeconomic condition of a country as well. There'll always be hundreds and thousands of young students who will be willing to replace you or at a lower pay and also no pay at all. So a very practical advice to young students is that if you're getting an opportunity for an internship at a good place, irrespective of whether you're being paid or not, just take that up, because if you take that up, you will still have that opportunity to acquire those skills. And once you acquire those skills, I'm sure that in the times to come you can definitely monetize those skills as well. But if you're very rigid about getting only paid internships, there's a good opportunity that you would not be able to get that particular internship opportunity, and you'll have to wait for that particular paid opportunity to come to you, which might not even come to you, right? So you have to be very, very practical when it comes to building your careers. So if you are getting an internship, irrespective of whether it's paid or unpaid, if it's a good opportunity, just take it. Just build on your skills, no matter whether you're being paid or not. Just build on your skills, and I'm sure that in the time to come, you will be able to monetize those skills as well. And talking about skills, one thing, very related thing to this is that a lot of you would be so it's a literature fest, as I can see. So there will be a lot of students who would be into arts, there'll be students who would be into commerce, and there'll be students into science. Now when we talk of skills, just know that the traditional degree that you're doing, the traditional course that you're doing, is not enough, is not going to be enough in the times to come. You have to supplement the particular course that you're doing with a lot of soft skills as well. Now, these soft skills can be public speaking, it can be something related to marketing, brand building, content writing. There's so many things which are not being taught to you in the classroom. But in today's day and age, these skills are extremely important. When you're leaving your colleges and when you're finding jobs, if you have these particular skills, in comparison to your peers, you'll always have an upper hand. So just think from the perspective of a recruiter. If I'm a recruiter, I would want, and I'm going into a college where there's a batch of 100 students who've done the similar course, who are passing that similar course. Who would I hire? I would hire an individual who has that, of course, that knowledge base after doing that course, plus some additional skills. So, as a student, just make sure that you're not banking only on your traditional degree and course that you're doing, but also supplementing it with these additional soft skills. So, these are a few suggestions that I have from my end during your school or college, whichever level of education you are in. Uh, and the last thing I wanted to talk about is entrepreneurship. Now, you all know that we are talking about becoming a self-reliant country when it comes to a lot of things. We were talking about becoming an Atmanirbhar Bharat. There are talks about India becoming a $5 trillion economy. Now, all of this would not happen if we all become job seekers. We need to build a pool of job creators as well. So I can see a lot of dynamic young people here, and I'm sure that you have influence over hundreds and thousands of other young people as well. So I think that this call of becoming a job creator is very, very important. And I know that becoming a job creator is not an easy task. And becoming a job seeker is more being in a comfort zone, right? So becoming an entrepreneur is definitely a very, very tough task. But we need to take these tough decisions if we really wish to become the world's factory, right? We need more and more job creators and not only job seekers. So I think that we can have a session on entrepreneurship separately, because I think I've already lapsed my time. But these were a few talking points which I wanted to leave young people with, just to think upon, ponder upon, and how we can really take everyone together and everyone forward in in this national mission of, say, revitalizing our country. And I think I would like to congratulate the whole team again for organizing this event. I'm looking forward to hear the other speakers as well, who are very, very senior than me and also like mentor to me. So thank you so much once again for having me here. And all of if any of the students wish to connect with me, they can definitely do that, and we can have a conversation later as well. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, sir. Thank you. And when you talk about passion, I don't think that I don't think that anyone better can relate than me, because being very honest, I was a science student back then in 11th and 12th, and then I joined arts. And when you talk about internship side over here, I'd like to mention that usually organizations and institutions do not provide internships to school students, but we at Conflux Rivista are trying to give internships, and we are trying to train school students over here so that they have a better exposure. School students have been tackling everything from the live sessions to the art, and they've also been, writing articles for the e-magazine. So yes, I absolutely agree to each and every point you made. Thank you so much, sir. It's been a pleasure having you today.